Hi, everyone. This is Jeff Clark of the Paydirt Prospector newsletter here in sunny Vancouver during the Metals Investor Forum. And I have one of the companies I'm very excited about. I'm sure glad I own. You might want to check this one out. This is the CEO of Tectonic Metals, Tony Reda. Tony, thanks for joining me here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And it's been pretty crowded. It's been pretty
Oh,
exciting. A lot of people were smiling.
yes,
And
yes,
Tony is smiling because of that drill hit the other day.
yes,
That was
yes.
fantastic. Congratulations on that. But it really has a big picture implication for what is there at the Flat Gold Project in Alaska. But before we get to that,
Yeah,
let's start with the background of you and the background of the
sure.
team. Tell us about that, and because you've built a pretty good team here that to look at this.
Yeah. I guess I cut my teeth in 1995. My first ever mining stock. Sorry, my first ever stock I purchased was a mining stock, and that
Wow.
that gave me the bug. And it hasn't been all roses since then.
Yeah, sure.
And then in 2005, I formally joined a company called Kaminak Gold Corporation. We took
Hmm.
it public. We found 5 million ounces, and then raised 165 million, and ended up selling it for 520 million. So a lot of
Wow.
the executives that were involved with that transformative story, we banded together. We formed Tectonic, and now we have this asset called the Flat Gold Project, doing something very similar to Kaminak, but also asking ourselves, is there a better way to do this? And one of those one of the answers that came from that question was partnering up with one of Alaska's largest for-profit native regional corporations.
Yeah.
And they not only do we have a partnership with them, and we're proudly exploring on their land, they've also elected to become a shareholder in our company by making several strategic investments. So we actually have Indigenous shareholders
And in
back
the
in the
tune of
company.
millions of dollars.
Yes. This isn't just it isn't a nominal investment. So they're the landowner. We own the mineral rights 100%. They have a royalty. They also are the second largest shareholder in our company,
Hmm.
investing over $5 million. And so there's alignment on multiple fronts, which is
Yeah.
something that you don't typically see in the junior mining space.
And you have Ira Thomas as
Yes.
your chairman now,
So my
chairperson.
yeah, my CEO at Kaminak, I was vice president, and now Ira is chair of Tectonic Metals. And Ira, she got her notoriety. Her and her father discovered Canada's second largest diamond mine, and yes, that's a phenomenal feat. But she got to also what's extraordinary about that story. She got to go from never been drilled before, just like I did at Kaminak, to full scale production. She carried on through
That's
when it was
amazing.
acquired. The share price went from like 50 cents to $60 back then.
Wow.
Huge success. And then that success rippled into other successes with other companies. Longest serving director, 21 years, if I'm not mistaken, with one of Canada's largest publicly traded companies in the resource space as well. And then, a few other juniors. So she's back at the helm as chair, myself. We have a long roster of professionals that have a proven track record in capital markets, M&A, engineering,
Mm.
geology, mine finding, permitting. One of our directors is actually a United Nations consultant and environmental biologist,
Wow.
and has been involved in the permitting of 9 mines. So she's a great example of when geology and the environment can exist in a cohesive,
Yeah.
positive way.
But the point is, the message behind all this
Mm.
is that the team you've built can
Mhm.
can really take Flat or all your
Yes,
project
yeah.
really from one level to the next to the next.
Yes,
You've
yes.
really got that team in place. That's really fantastic. So
Yeah.
congratulations on the team you've built.
Thank you. And I think that's important. So you understand the next, like every stage of exploration in mind, that you have someone that is a leader in that stage,
Yeah,
and
right.
then can steward the project through that process, and try to slow down the gray hair process that you're witnessing here.
Well, let's talk about that
Yeah.
process because you got a big year underway already here
Yeah.
and a lot coming. So tell us about Flat, where it's at, Chicken Mountain,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
what you'll be doing there this year.
Yeah. So this year's, success so far, hence the news release yesterday, nine and a half, I can't even get it right, but
Almost
9.67, actually almost 10 grams per ton over
right.
37 meters. Fantastic drill intercept with 100 gram per ton gold intersected in that interval. But that was all predicated on last year's drill campaign. We raised $34 million, transformed our shareholder base, brought on Van Eck and Franklin Templeton, two of the largest U.S. gold-based funds, onto the share registry to support us in working towards that first maiden mineral resource estimate.
I mean, they wouldn't invest if they didn't see the potential here.
Exactly. Van Eck is the JDXJ for those that don't know, and they're a large fund. So, dipping their toe in the water to support this initiative. They do their due diligence. It's not just Tony's a good guy with a nice suit and tie. They actually, in fact, the portfolio manager is a very well-respected geologist. And so they've done their due diligence and they're supporting us. So we transformed the shareholder base, raised 34 million, drilled 18,000 meters, 34 more drill holes still pending from 2025, which anticipate to get out in the next few weeks, maybe a month at most, due to the lab turnaround times. And then we are back in the field. We're actually going to mobilize in April and try to get that drill turning May 1st.
There you go.
That's the target date.
And do you have a target in mind for how many meters you want to drill, or how many holes you want to do this year?
Yes. I mean, so not formally approved just yet, but my guidance that I would give on that front is at least 20,000 meters, if not more. We have 3 drills stationed at site right now, just turnkey. And so we want to fire up those drills, probably bring in another drill, maybe another 2 drills, and then have that drill turning from May 1st right through to November 1st. Last year, we drilled right through to the end of October, and we want to keep that pace up. There's no shortage of targets. And our goal for 2026, Q1 2027, possibly sooner, is to publish that maiden mineral resource estimate and sort of lift the veil on the ounces that are currently there right now.
Yeah, and the grade and the feasibility. I mean, that's going to be an exciting announcement later this year.
Yes.
But one thing I wanted you to comment on is metallurgy, because you did one drill campaign and boom, you're doing metallurgy. And then you did metallurgy testing again. So tell us why you did that and what you're finding so far there.
Yeah, everyone talks about grade, and rightfully so. Grade is king. Maybe. Margin to me is king. But the point being is that you take your grade, then you have to say, okay, how much, what is the recovery rate to get the gold out of the rock? How are you going to process it? So metallurgy has impact on grade. It has impact on operational costs. It has actually impact on CapEx. It ripples across the project, and it's sometimes a deal breaker on economics. So identifying that it's super critical and it's a huge de-risking event. So many juniors publish mineral resource estimates without any really strong metallurgical support behind it, which, it's not something I subscribe to. If you want to find a mine, you got to put your neck out on the chopping block. So we did metallurgy on historical drill core, and then we did it on our drill core, and we are getting 96, 91, 99% gold recovery. The 96 and 91% recovery were actually from a technique called from column testing, which is a tool or a test to validate the heap leachability of the gold mineralization. Why is that important? Well, heap leach mines are typically low CapEx, which is, we're still living in a capital sensitive market, and typically low OpEx. And because of those two attributes, they are highly coveted by major mining companies. The reason why I know that is because we sold one for $520 million, and we had 3 majors bidding on it. And that was when gold was $13.50 an ounce. So if you took that project and, advanced it into this $5,000 gold environment. So for me, heap leaching and metallurgy drives everything. And so it was important to get comfortable with that before we start investing serious amounts of capital into this project.
Right. So as we wrap up here, I know you're going to have a lot of drill results out, but is there anything that investors should look at right now about Tectonic to maybe consider an investment?
I think there's a few things. This isn't a one-trick pony. And what I mean by that, it's not a one potential deposit. We have 99,000 acres, massive 30, 40 kilometer long land package, the potential for 6 deposits. We've tested 3 of those this year. So the drill results to come test some of those new targets. And so when you look at our project, think of it as a multi-deposit, a full district, and then next door to us, there just happens to be a 40 million ounce gold deposit. One of the largest gold deposits in the world that literally yesterday announced a $200 million bought deal financing, and in less than 24 hours, it was ratcheted up to 300 million.
Incredible.
There's 2,000 juniors right now in the TSX, and I don't think anyone can say, hey, I have potentially a 40 million ounce gold system going in next door. We don't need that success, but obviously that is going to change the economics significantly if that project moves forward and the infrastructure gets in place.
Yeah, the point is that this is not a 500,000 ounce deposit
No.
here. We're looking at a multi-million ounce potential, and you're going at it aggressively this year.
Yes.
So I'm happy for you, and
Thank
I'm
you.
happy a shareholder too, by the way. So
Thank you.
So there
I
you
am
have
too.
it. Yeah. Tectonic Metals, check it out. I really like it, and it's not too late to buy the stock. So consider that. So thanks for watching, everyone, here at the Metals Investor Forum.